Guys.
Well, TikTok can hear you, but right now, okay.
Okay, guys, on YouTube, I'm so sorry. TikTok, YouTube couldn't hear us because I lost it. Okay, so we put our garlic in there, and now we're going to add a little bit, between 1 and 3 tablespoons of buttermilk to kind of make it clumpy. What that does is give us a little bit of crust on our chicken tenders. So as you can see, it's real crumbly looking, kind of floury mixture. Okay, so we have that. Now, we already had our chicken. You should marinate it 4 to 24 hours, or if you like me, sometimes you forget. It's okay to do it like 30 minutes before. The flavor just won't be as good, and the tenders might be a little more not as juicy because this does help make them juicy. In the marinade, we have a cup of buttermilk, teaspoon and a half of salt, 2 teaspoons of sriracha sauce, a teaspoon of salt, and quarter teaspoon of paprika, and 2 cloves of garlic. So I've already cut them into strips. And when you make things that are breaded, here's a little tip. Some people say, oh, my breading never sticks. Well, guys, it's because you can't bread it and pop it in the oil right away. So you need to bread it, put it on a pan like this. I use a cooling rack over a cookie sheet, and that allows the breading to adhere to whatever you put it on. So if you let it sit for about 10 minutes, it can sit more than 10 minutes, but it needs to be a minimum of 10 minutes for it to stick. So that's just a little tip when you're cooking. So you make these first like this, and then you do other stuff and come back, and you finish off the meal by frying your chicken tenders. You can make them smaller. I don't, because I get bored cooking them. So I make them long like this. This is 1 chicken breast cut into, that's a little tip there too. When you go to the store and you buy chicken tenders, guys, that's just chicken breasts that they cut off a chicken breast and they sell it as chicken tenders, and you pay more. Guys, they're ripping you off. Don't do that. You can make your own chicken tenders with a butcher knife. So you're going to put them on there, and I wear gloves because I don't like the feeling of this stuff on my hands. You don't have to. It's just a personal preference. Okay, that's almost. So look how many chicken tenders 1 breast does. So I do butterfly it and then cut it into strips. So we want to get it nice and done. Now, if you're doing more than 1 breast, I do recommend doubling the breading, because as you can see, there's not much breading left after I did this 1 breast. Okay, now I'm going to get these yucky. Oh my God, this is gross and disgusting, guys. So gross. This last week, I got my fall decorations up. I'm in the Halloween mood because Halloween is one of my favorite holidays. So yes, I'm wearing my witch's hats because I love Halloween. So I'm in the mood. Get in the mood, guys. Get your decorations up. Fall came Saturday, so it's time to get busy. Okay, we're gonna let those guys just sit there for 10 minutes, and we're gonna go over the stove and make ourselves some stovetop macaroni and cheese. You'll never go back to a box or a frozen. So let's move over here. My camera girl is gonna move them. Or I should refer to her as my producer. So I cooked my noodles ahead of time so we didn't have to do that. Okay, so we have a heavy cast iron bottom skillet, and into this you're going to put some butter, and you're going to melt it. 4 tablespoons. Now, this recipe can be done any way you want, guys. When you get it done, your macaroni and cheese, if you want to cook some bacon to sprinkle on top, go for it. If you want to put tomatoes in it, go for it. Whatever your family tradition is with mac and cheese, you can do it. Now, I'm using all white sharp cheddar, simply because I couldn't find yellow sharp cheddar in a block. You need to grate your own, and I'm going to tell you why my butter melts. Because when you buy grated cheese, it has cornstarch or flour on it to keep it to sticking to each other. So guess what's going to happen to your mac and cheese? It's going to get gunky. And it's going to taste like ugh. And it's going to look like ugh. So don't do that. You need to do it. So we're going to keep this up a little high. You're going to melt your cheese into your cheese, not your cheese. You're going to melt your butter. Now I'm going to tell you this meal goes really quickly if you have things prepped. So if you have time to prep before the family comes home, or if you're lucky enough to have a teenager that's willing to prep things for you, when you get home, you can finish it off when you get home from work and it's ready to go. This can go into dishes and be frozen and heated up nicely at work for lunch or school if they have a microwave available. So, guys, let's get this butter. I am always impatient when I'm cooking. I like to be doing 5 million things at the same time. Usually I'm making a dessert or something, and then I forget what I'm doing, and it causes a catastrophe. But, you know. Okay, so our butter's melted. We're going to add into that 4 tablespoons of flour. Now, you want to get your flour mixed in, and you want your flour to cook for 1 to 2 minutes so that you can get rid of that floury taste. Otherwise, you're going to have a pasty, floury flavored sauce. It is not becoming. It tastes nasty, and you want to be the best cook on the block. Also, it's important to be really careful when you add your cheese, because you don't want it to get grainy. Okay, so it's important you follow these steps that I'm telling you. Okay, now to that we're going to add heavy cream, about 1.5 cups of heavy cream, and about 3 cups of milk. I'm using lactose-free milk because both my girls are lactose intolerant, so it makes it a little better for them to digest if they don't have so much dairy. To that, we're going to add our salt of 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, and a teaspoon of mustard powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. We're going to whisk that in. Then we're going to add ourselves a teaspoon of Tabasco. No, don't worry, guys. It's not spicy. It just gives it it takes that little rich edge off of it, and it's really nice. Even people that don't like spice that eat this recipe love it. Okay, now we want to bring it to a boil on medium. So we just have to watch it, because this is highly important, guys. It's very boring to stand and look at and stir stuff, but scalded milk is not appealing, and you don't want to ruin your mac and cheese, because I'm telling you, this mac and cheese is so good. The other night, I was looking at what I was doing. The other night, my husband and I were home, and we had absolutely no kids in the house. That happens like never. And so I was like, babe, what do you want for supper? You can have anything you want. The kids aren't here to say what they want. And he goes, can you please just make me stovetop mac and cheese? So literally, I made a batch of stovetop mac and cheese. We ate all of it except one small bowl. And when our oldest daughter got home, she was really upset. That's all it was left for her. But that's all we ate. And then we sat and watched football. Or no, I don't remember what it was, because it was Saturday night, so it wasn't football. But sat and watched TV and ate mac and cheese. And guys, that's really good with a glass of wine, I'm telling you. So, a glass of red wine and bowl of mac and cheese. Oh, with jalapenos on top. And I think my husband had bacon on his. So you can do whatever you want. So it's very important that this heats up before you do anything else. Because if you put your cheese in there before it's hot, that's when you're going to get the breakage. It's kind of like when you're doing chocolate, you have to make sure there's no moisture, because moisture will make your chocolate freeze. Coolness will make your cheese freeze up, so you don't want that to happen. So that's the biggest, most important thing to remember when you're doing this. It's very foolproof, guys. As long as you follow these steps that I'm telling you, you can make this mac and cheese. You can use any noodles. I use macaroni, but you can use any type of noodle you like. You do not have to use macaroni. And have you noticed, guys, look, they put little ribs on the macaroni now so the sauce sticks to it. It's just crazy. Look at that. I don't know if you can see that, but there's little ribs on the macaroni now. It's not smooth like it used to be. It's crazy.
Are you sure it's not just that type?
No, I looked at all the brands have it. Well, I don't know about the off brands.
All the brands you looked at?
Yeah, all the brands I looked at. I am very picky about my pasta, guys. I use, is it Borelli?
So picky you can't remember the name of it?
Guys, I'm sorry. Okay, hold on. It starts with a B. Hold on. Yes, really. Oh, Barella. This is my favorite kind of pasta. It always turns out right. It never turns out gummy or anything. So no, they're not. I'm not sponsoring. They don't sponsor me, but I love this stuff. Okay, so guys, this is the best pasta. Any pasta, all their pasta is great. So that's the only pasta you'll find in my house other than pasta I make from scratch. So this is taking forever.
Is that all you have to do?
This is all you have to do until you add the cheese. Well, you can drink. This is what I'm going to suggest. Have a cup of coffee, have some tea, have a gin and tonic, have some wine, beer, whatever your choice of ice is. Water. If you're a water fanatic, you're probably not going to be making chicken tenders and mac and cheese. But
why not? People drink water and eat mac and cheese. It's not like this meal's unhealthy either.
No, it's good for you. We're making it from scratch. It has a lot of good stuff in it. Okay, let's see here. I've got everything. I'm making sure I have everything in, guys.
What is the goal? What is the end goal for this that you're doing?
Like,
what are you trying to get it to?
You have to get it to a boil because it'll slightly thicken, and the cheese will thicken it the rest of the way. So when we add the cheese, it's not going to be as thick as when you have. It's going to turn out like, have you melted Velveeta? It's going to be like kind of melted Velveeta.
Before you put the cheese in?
After you put the cheese in.
So ask me, what are you trying to get this to?
You need to boil it. And it has to come to like a slow simmer.
Oh, okay. So it has to be on low
Yeah.
heat.
Yeah.
And so it just takes a while so it doesn't get scalded. Okay.
It does, because you don't want to scald the milk, because scalded milk is disgusting. And also it's very difficult to clean the kettle, and I hate doing dishes that are scalded. So, and the reason I keep moving it around is so that it will heat evenly. It's starting to have, as you can see, there's steam starting to rise off of it. That's a sign we're getting close. Okay. I personally love mac and cheese with different things in it. So guys, please use your imagination when you cook. Step outside your comfort boundaries. Step over that line and say, hey, what sounds good to me tonight? And you know what? 9 times out of 10, it's going to be 100% great. But everybody's messed up a recipe, including me. Everybody's had to throw something in the trash. Oh my God, guys. The worst thing in the world ever happened to me one time. I was a smarty pants, and I decided to make egg noodles. No, rice noodles. You know, like you have in Asian food.
Someone was saying, hey, Kathy, do you remember rainbow plants?
Rainbow plants. Yes, I do.
Someone named Willow Rose.
Oh yes, she was the. Oh, I miss you. I miss you so much. Yes, I used to buy all my plants from her.
Crazy.
I know. I hope you're doing well. I'm so happy you're watching. I miss you. I hope you are still enjoying the plants as much as I do. And I think I have some. Did I bring any of the plants from Texas that I got from you? I can't remember. I think I left them all there, which makes me sad. And okay, we're almost there, guys. You can see more steam. That's going to give you your clue. This is really something you can't just walk away from. Don't do it.
Willa says that she misses you and she retired.
Oh, me too. Me too, girl. Me too. Come visit me sometime. I have the same phone. Do I have the same phone number?
Don't be talking about your phone number. You're on a live thing. Don't be
I
talking
know.
about your phone number.
Girl, I think I don't have the same phone number. I'll get with you. I'll let you know. We need to get together. Okay. So we're getting there. We're getting some bubbles. That shows that our mac and cheese is getting ready. And we're getting there to get what we need. So you can kind of see if you look in the kettle, there's a few bubbles in there. And that means see it. Oh, see the bubbles starting to form. That means we're getting close. You want it to get slightly thick, but not, it's never going to get real thick because we didn't put that much flour in, because if you put that much flour in, guys, it would be disgusting. Okay, so we're right where we need to be. We're now going to add our cheese. You can add as much or little as you want. 3 to 4 cups is what I recommend. Sorry, I'm blocking everybody's view. Let me get it all in here.
Don't worry about the view.
This is 2 blocks of cheese, 8-ounce blocks of cheese, shredded. And it is Cabot's sharp Vermont cheddar. And there you can see, and now see, as soon as your cheese melts, turn off the stove. You don't want it to break, okay? Then we're going to take our whisk out. We're going to get our pasta. Since I cooked it earlier, I did put avocado oil on it to keep it from becoming one solid clump of pasta, but you want to break it up with your hands. Still warm. I'm going to pour it in. Get a spoon. Mix that baby up good. We're going to try it here in a second. You want it to be nice and creamy. And as it sits for a few minutes while we're doing our chicken, it's going to thicken up and there's going to be less sauce. I personally don't think you can have too much sauce. Everybody has a different opinion. Let's try it, guys. Let's try it. I got a spoon ready for me. Let's see if it needs salt or anything. Oh, heaven in a bite. Let me tell you, I cooked the pasta to al dente, so it's perfect. Perfect creaminess, perfect everything. Not too much cheese, not too little. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the lid on it. We're going to let it sit there while we finish off our chicken. So let's move over here. So, okay, she's setting that up. While she does that, I am going to turn on my electric skillet. Guys, I'm in love with this new electric skillet. If you have to buy one with titanium with copper lined. Oh, it's so much better than that other stuff. I just love how it cooks so evenly. So I have another pan that looks just like this one, because after I fry it, I want it to drain. You don't want it to get greasy. So let me find something to wipe my hands off since I have mac juice all over me. Gross. Okay. Have another drink. Let's see. So while we're letting that, we can kind of see, you can see how the flour has kind of made like a coating, and it's not really like just white anymore. That's a sign that it is coming together. So now you can, as you can see, you can serve any vegetable with this meal. You can serve a tossed salad. And I have carrots in the oven to go with it for our meal. And those are easy to make. And I'm losing my hair clip. Hold on, guys. Let me get my hair pinned up and wash my hands, and then we'll come back and maybe our oil will be hot. Alrighty, we're back. So when I test my oil, I usually get myself a little piece of chicken and put it in there, and then I watch it. Because what happens is you don't want to put these big pieces in until this is hot enough. So you want to get I put a little piece in so I can watch it and see when it's going to start sizzling. Because if it's not sizzling, your crust will soak up the oil. So if your pan is not hot enough, you will have a greasy coating instead of a nice crisp even coating. So you don't want that. So I always take a little tiny piece, and I didn't really tell you guys I was doing that when I put it on here, but I always have a little piece that I can watch. Now it's starting to bubble. That doesn't mean anything. You have to make sure it's, move it around and make sure it's bubbling everywhere, because if it's not, then you'll have that problem. Also, when you're cooking with these guys, you can't crowd them. So in other words, I can't put all of these in here. Sometimes I want to, but don't do it, okay? Fight the urge. It's not worth it. So while we're waiting for that to heat up, our next live stream is going to be on October 4th, and it is going to be street enchiladas, because I miss Texas and I love street enchiladas. So we're going to make them. I will be making the sauce in the morning because I like it to cook for a while. So it will be made ahead of time, and then we'll finish it off. Warning to all people involved. It is extremely messy. So expect to see things messy. But I'm going to tell you now, it is delicious. And it's nice because everybody gets to put what they want in a street enchilada. So, and it's, you make them on the moment. Also, when you make the sauce, it keeps. So you don't use it all, you can freeze it. Okay, think we're almost ready? Yes, we are ready. So we're going to take her. We're not going to take it. Guys, cooking is about having fun, not being perfect. If you think it's about being perfect, then I don't know what to tell you. I love to cook. Our house is Grand Central Station. Our neighbors often join us for cooking and eating over at my home, and often join us for a meal. So guys, it's nice to have a home like that, and it's nice to have a home where your friends, your kids' friends want to come over and hang out because they know they're going to get a fun, good supper. They always like to help, and it's really a good way for your kids' friends to learn to cook if they have parents that are busy and can't come home at night and cook with them. So if you have that opportunity, I highly recommend it. And I just had the joy this last week of my daughter by another came for 5 days, and her and I got to spend 2 of the days because my youngest daughter and her are best friends, and she came and her and I got to cook together. We made Asian food. I got to take her apple picking, which she'd never done before. We had a great time. Okay, so see, that's our little piece. I'm just going to put it over there. That's probably going to be a dog treat. So just kind of let them cook until they get crisp. Doesn't take too long. It's chicken. You can do fish this way. Also, guys, when you're making fried chicken, you're going to do the same method. You're going to let it sit. When you make chicken fried steak, same method. Let it sit. Anytime you bread something, you let it sit and then you cook it. You will have so much more. Even if you make onion rings, or if you make, not onion rings, if you make fried pickles, it's best to let them sit. So, see how it's nice and golden? We're going to turn it over. And it's a little end I pulled off. Its leg, I broke it. I think they could be a little browner. I do let them warm up about 30 minutes before I start cooking them. Not too long, not as long as I would if I was doing beef. If I was doing beef, I'd probably leave it out for like an hour before I cooked it. But chicken, I don't like to leave out more than an hour. Yes, I'm a germaphobe. Yes, I'm afraid that everybody's going to get bacteria and die. Everybody thinks I'm crazy, but that's okay. Nobody in my house has gotten sick. So that's the way it is. I also clean my refrigerator out. Nothing stays in there more than 3 days. So, you know, we all have our hang-ups, and that's mine, is staying safe and not eating food that's bad for me. or my family. And I don't necessarily eat everything, guys. So our chickens, let me see if I can speak for a second. Oh, maybe I need more gin. Yes, I do. Okay, so our chicken's frying here. If you want a little more spicy, add cayenne to it. Or my family dips theirs in different things. So they, mustard. Oh, the breading. The breading is made up of a cup and a half of flour, half a cup of breadcrumbs, Italian or otherwise, whatever kind you want to use. 3/4 of a teaspoon of pepper, 3/4 of a teaspoon of paprika. I use smoked paprika. 2 cloves of garlic minced, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, and 3 tablespoons of buttermilk. Mix everything up first, then mix in your buttermilk, and then dip your chicken that's been marinated in buttermilk. 1 cup of buttermilk, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 2 teaspoons of sriracha, 2 garlic cloves minced, and 1/4 of a teaspoon of paprika. So this is our first one out. Look at that beauty. Look at that beauty. And there it goes.
You're asking about the flour for self-rising all-purpose?
It's all-purpose. I don't use self-rising because it's really salty, and I prefer to put my own baking powder in. There is some recipes I use it in, but this one I do not. You can if that's what you have on hand and you don't have any baking powder. Feel free to use it, but watch how much salt you add to it. Because there is salt in self-rising flour. Okay. And yes, I killed this. I made this piece of chicken breast. This is 1 chicken breast right here, guys, that I'm making. I made this chicken breast my slave. My bitch. I made it my bitch. Okay, so we're going to let that cook. We can remove this. And this is what our beauties look like. Look at those guys. Look how good they look. And you'll notice that the oil's dripping off of them down into the pan below. It just is a much better. They don't get greasy, and they don't keep the grease. And you can see how our breading stayed on all the way around because we let them sit for 10 minutes. Use that method every time you make chicken strips. You can make chicken nuggets this way. Guys, you could, this method goes for breading of anything, even if you're making fried green tomatoes, which tomorrow night, guys, I am testing out how to make fried green cherry tomatoes because my cherry tomato plant was a beast. I'm telling you guys, it was taller than me and like this wide. It was huge. And it kept falling over and it broke its stem. And so I had to take all the green tomatoes off. So now I think I'll make some fried green tomatoes, guys, and I will film it. We'll see if it's a disaster or if it turns out good. And I'll let you know how it tastes because I love fried green tomatoes. And for anyone that hasn't tried them, oh, you have to. It's good with ranch, good with anything. Even people who don't like tomatoes like fried green tomatoes. Okay, let's check these babies and see. Yeah, that one needs turned. You can kind of tell when they need to be turned. You can start to see a golden on the edge. So that's when you kind of know it's time to turn them over. And there. There, it's all turned over. We're almost done. Let me get a plate so we can plate this up. So you guys can see what it looks like. I love this plate. I thought it would show off the food. This is about how long it takes me to make it normally when I make it because usually I will grate my cheese while I'm making my sauce. Huh? I started at 6. Usually when I would be making my sauce, I would be grating my cheese, but it's too loud to do on when I'm doing a live demo. So I did it ahead of time. So there, Getting some more of our chicken out here. The little pieces are for the dogs or anyone that likes crunchy little crunchy pieces. I have to. I shouldn't lie. My family has a tendency to fight over crunchy pieces. Do be careful not to turn them too much because you will break your breading off of anything that you're cooking. So here we go. And I just use the whole chicken breast, so if they don't all turn out perfectly the same, it's fine, guys. There's no harm, no foul play. They're not going to be perfect like the ones you buy at the store. That's okay. They taste better. And I think our last one's ready. This one's a little bigger, so I want to check him. Yeah, he's done. And you can see, did you see when I broke into him? I broke him. He doesn't have breading anymore. Poor guy. He's breadless. He's naked. He's a naked chicken strip. Okay, so let's get this plate. We're going to put a chicken strip on here. Put a couple of them on here. And then we're going to add some mac and cheese. And you guys, this is a meal to die for. It is yummy, it is delicious, and everybody in your family will eat it, even down to your picky, icky granddaughter. So thanks for joining me. I look forward to seeing you on October 4th and every day when I try to post something every day for you guys to see. And yes, those are things I feed my family every day, and that's how you get them. So thanks for joining me. I'm a hot mess, but my food's always delicious.